Welcome to Heroes and Droids, your guide to movies and TV shows about superheroes, sci-fi, Disney, and action. From Marvel to DC, from Star Wars to Star Trek, from James Bond to the Fast and the Furious. We'll review the theatrical films and streaming delights you care about most. This week, we were reviewing Hawkeye, Episode 4, titled Partners. Am I right? Let me introduce, I'm Doc Roth. Let me introduce the rest of the crew, starting off with Christopher Slattery. He's the Slattman. How you doing, sir?
Good. I wish I had something witty to say here, but I don't know. All this conversation we had pre-recording just kind of took all the wit out of me.
Oh man, we got to start recording the pre-show. That's all there is to it. All right.
Blooper
bloopers. All right. Also joining us is podcasting rock star and international cosplay queen, Vanessa. How you doing, Vanessa? Very festive? Is that a good way to put it?
I'm in the spirit. Yes, the holiday spirit. Thanks to Hawkeye and maybe somebody with Russian accent. I don't know.
Oh, yes. All right. Also joining us is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Moore. How you doing, sir?
Steven Seagal wasn't in this. No.
Is that how bad I sounded? Oh my god.
No. I was just saying that.
You're saying you look like him then? Oh my god, Chris.
Yes, you look just like Steven Seagal. No.
Take it.
No, I'm just saying his connection to the Russians. I'm doing wonderful.
You are, sir. You are doing wonderful.
Let's all drink the holiday punch together.
Not the Porky's Punch or whatever we were talking about earlier.
No,
Right.
That's not even infer
Yes.
what I was referring to. Let's keep
pre-show,
moving
no
on.
pre-show.
Less people know, the better.
Yeah, we won't do that. But you know what we will do? We are going to welcome our guest host, Chad Hunt. He is on every episode of Decades of Horror and now is joining us here on Heroes and Droids. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How could I follow any of that?
I can't.
I can't. All I can say is I'm happy to be here, and let's talk about some superheroes.
Superheroes, Hawkeye. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to give our first impression of the episode. That will be spoiler free, and then we'll dive into discussion, and we will get into spoilers. We'll get into Easter eggs and all kinds of goodies, and then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score, 1 to 5, and our favorite scene, which there are plenty to choose from. And if you are watching us, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you want to support us, it's easy and free to do. You hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share with a friend, and it will do wonders for us. And we would thank you graciously. Yes. And above all, we'd love to hear your comments. Leave some down below for what you thought of this episode and the Hawkeye series as a whole. All right. What are we're talking about? I knew that was coming. Season 1, episode 4, December 8th, 2021. Partners. Am I right? Directed by Bert and Bertie. Written by Heather Quinn and Erin Cancino. I'm going to go with that.
We'll go with that.
The cast includes Jeremy Renner, Vera Farmiga, Tony Dalton, Linda Cardellini, Alakwa Cox. Is that close? Frafi and Florence. Pew.
Pew, pew.
Pew. Secrets are revealed and hard truths emerge, culminating in a battle against two opposing forces. Yes, that's the episode. Let's dive into our first thoughts, starting off with the Slatman. Sir,
that is some Bad Batch level of synopsis right there. That's like the very tip of the iceberg of what actually happens, and I think it's actually wrong.
It might be.
I liked this episode, but I think it was very hard to follow up the last episode. And I think they did it the right way by not trying to one-up the last episode. And this one felt a little bit slower, a little bit more time with our characters compared to the last episode. And I think that was a very smart way to do it. Because rather than being like, oh, we just got to get, one up. But this one really kind of took some time to develop our characters a little bit more, develop the relationships, move the plot along, and then kind of ended with a bang. And they did a very good job with that, and I'm very, very happy with what we got. I'm happy with the direction that it's going. I'm happy with. I like the direction that they're taking the characters a lot, and I don't know how to talk about it in first impressions without
I know
getting
it's
into
hard, isn't it?
spoilers, but I really I'm impressed. I'm still very impressed, but I'm impressed in a different way than last episode. This one kind of felt more like the characters shined instead of the action.
Yeah, that's great. It's all about the Christmas sweaters, right?
And
All right.
pennies.
Yeah, exactly.
Or was it a dime?
I don't know. Vanessa, what was your first impression of Hawkeye episode 4?
I really enjoyed this one. And I love that this episode and last episode were directed by Bert. Both were directed by Bert and Bertie.
You almost did it.
Bert and yeah, I know. I almost did. You had me questioning myself for a moment.
Rubber ducky, you're my friend.
They're doing an amazing job, and I love to see the duality between the two episodes, like Chris was talking about. You got the fast-paced, real hard action, and then you have this one that really dives into the characters a little bit more. And especially, I just love what they're doing with Clint and really getting into his character. I think a lot of people, especially veterans out there, are going to connect to his character and really be able to relate to what he's feeling and what he's going through. And I felt that in this episode so many times. And the surprises that we get, because I think we kind of already knew some of it was coming, that we get are still so much fun. And the fights that we get in this one are so much fun. And there's moments that really moved me in this episode. And it's just amazing how these Marvel shows are doing that. They're just creating these pockets, these moments of genuine emotion and things that can connect with people in such a moving way. And I'm so sad that it's going to end so soon because I am just loving Clint Barton.
Two more.
I know.
It is very, very good. All right, Chad, sir, welcome aboard. What was your first impression of episode 4?
This turned out to be. I've liked everything so far. I loved the last episode, all the action and everything, and like everybody's brought up, I really liked how this episode kind of brought that down a little bit and it was more about the characters instead. I always wondered since the beginning of the series if they were going to touch on Bart, Hawkeye,
Clint Barton,
Barton's,
not Bart Clinton, not Bart Clinton.
You're COVID, everyone. But I always thought, I was hoping they would get into more of how he was feeling after Black Widow's death and then his family, how that affects his family and all that. So I was really, really glad to see him sit down and talk about that a little bit. And it made me want a prequel movie with Hawkeye and Black Widow to find out how they met and the things they had to go through to become the friends that they were. It really made me want that. But the characters were good in this. I was glad to see some new characters introduced, and I was glad to see the little bit of action we got at the end to kind of cap the end of the episode off. I thought it was a really well-rounded episode. And it did answer some questions and stuff like that, which we'll get into. But yeah, really, really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, and LARPers.
More LARPers, yeah.
Yes. All right, Christopher G. Moore, sir. What was your first impression of episode 4?
Yeah, it's gonna, for me, it's just gonna be a lot. There's got to be a lot of this. Any episodes are going to do to hold up to
the last one was so good, yeah.
But the last one was much more action centric. This has a little bit of action, like Chad mentioned, but it is more talky. There's much more conversations between people. But I think one of the big strengths of this series is just the dialogue.
Yes,
I think there's repartee, as they say, are the things that they say. And like Kate, I don't know. I love Haley. I love the dialogue they give to her, because she just has this sort of fun dialogue. I mean, like I keep mentioning, this is very Lethal Weapon-ish, to where she's like the Mel Gibson to his, Danny Glover. I'm
That's
too old
true.
for this.
That's
I'm
true.
too old for this Arrow shit. But and at the same time, I think there's a sense of humor with Hawkeye, even when he's the straight man to her, sort of like chatty Cathy. So yeah, and I think there even just fun stuff between the conversation between them and the very beginning, where he had a conversation between her and him and her mom and Jack, who's drinking his whatever he's drinking out of his little beehive mug. Production design is kind of cool in this too. But yeah, it's a fun episode. I think and I think I feel like there's little things in there that open up questions.
Oh my gosh, so well
to stuff later. And for me, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I think just us still getting a sliver of his family and stuff is really cool. And the sort of the relationship between him and his wife. And you get some fun moments like without being too spoilers, but there's almost like a Christmas party, thing between him and Kate. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's got some really sort of nice moments, and some really kind of fun things at the end, action oriented, that also open up more questions if you pay attention to everything that's happening, why people are pulling their punches per se. But yeah, I think it's definitely a fun episode. It's definitely it's definitely more fleshing out the characters a little bit more, opening up about certain things, that gives more information as we sort of start rolling into the later episodes that kind of like, take us where we need to go for this season, where hopefully he'll make it home for Christmas.
I love that thread, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying this series. I mean, I like it because it really, even though it has a superhero elements, it doesn't feel like a superhero series per se. And this is just like a action comedy Christmas movie, that I'm really enjoying it. I get a kick out, just again, sometimes the dialogue segments are just as fun, I guess you could say, as some of the action scenes, and just how they spin a phrase and that kind of thing. And so, and Kate always trying to talk her way out things. So yeah, I another enjoyable episode.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think this is a really nice balance to the last episode. The last episode is going to be, the bar to beat, but the series needs episodes like this as well. We need, or else we're going to lose the characters. And we get some great moments with Clint, and really heartfelt moments, and I love it. And then there's all these teases with Bobby. I mean, Laura. Somebody knows what I did there. There's just so much really cool things going on, and like you said, the dialogue is fantastic. The hints are all over the place, and then of course we cap it off with a great battle. I enjoy the hell out, and I just want to say that I think Bert and Bertie have proven themselves with these two episodes that they can handle a variety of material for a superhero, and I think they need a film. I think they need to get a film because I think they would do a great job based on these two episodes. They hit all the marks. They hit everything that you need on character and handling dialogue, handling quiet moments, handling action, day, night, everything. It was a great job from them.
Well, there's look at how many moments in this episode where people are just sitting there talking. There's a part where two people are in the car talking. There's a part where they're talking at a table. There's a part where they're talking, while watching Christmas movies. So there's a lot of those type of moments that you're still invested in because of the relationship because of the dialogue, because of the characters. So, and I think that just shows you the strength of, getting the right people involved to tell those elements, so it doesn't feel boring.
Chad turned his phone, not his phone, but his fan on. You got your fan on? There we go. Oh, all right, nicely done. I agree. Okay, I did a little thing with the name Bobby. I don't know if anybody knew what that was, but Christopher, let's take that and jump into all the Easter eggs and stuff, so we can kind of take that with the rest of the discussion. We are in spoilers, by the way, if people didn't realize that.
Well, one of the things I wanted to point out is, and this is more just a fun thing, but there's a part where she brings all these Christmas DVDs for them to watch, and it's all the traditional ones, but Die Hard is in that.
Die Hard's in it.
So another reason to point out Die Hard as a Christmas movie. And secondly, there's this whole series so far, there's episodes that feel very odes to Die Hard and so I think people diving off buildings and things like that, trying to get, Christmas parties. And I mean, there's all kinds of things. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny. Also, we get sort of a callback to previously when he was using the bathroom and it said Thanos is right. His mug says Thanos is right.
Oh no,
So
I
he-
didn't see that.
Yeah,
That's
so he's
awesome.
basically embracing that negativity about such things.
Or just didn't care, just wanted coffee.
Well, he did. Well, that too, but I just think it's very funny that it's almost like he might have went out and bought it if it wasn't already in that room. Also, there's a joke about like you should get boomerang arrows, and actually there is a boomerang arrow in the comics that they came up with, because that's a good way to sort of get your arrows back. So even though he kind of poo-poos it, that actually is a little bit of canon in the comics.
It does seem like a bad idea. Come on.
It does seem like a bad idea.
Hatchet
but
on the way back.
Yeah, but if he's always very cognizant in his periphery about people around us, so he could also use it as a way to get people near him, I guess. I don't know, but maybe that's a callback to something that might happen before the end of the season. You never know.
You're right.
Also, something that may be a callback to something, or something that's what is it? What's the phrase? The gun.
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's coin.
Yes.
There's
Yep.
flick a coin where he shows him, which is actually in the comics, his brother taught him how to do that trick using coins. Which actually, if you look on the credit sequence, you see coins breaking bottles. So that's an interesting. So I'm wondering if that's going to come back or be used somehow against people. So if you see a coin laying somewhere, zero in on that.
Yep.
Also, a nice little sort of an interesting thing is they're watching it at the end of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
Where you have a guy who finally he sees a future where his family doesn't exist, and his family finally comes back to him in the same way that it came back to Clint. So I love those kind of things where you have a film that basically comments on his life as well.
Yep. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, there's this one part of the episode where Kate is wearing a space dog shirt, which is reference to the Russian dog they sent up in space and died horribly. So, but anyway, that's the same shirt that she's wearing in the comics, or at least in some of the comics. There's also one of the LARPers, which I still feel like these LARPers are more characters of LARPers, so that still kind of bothers me a little bit, but you can't expect a lot from what people think.
They are kind of
nerdy stuff.
They're making fun of LARPers.
Yeah. I feel like if they had cosplayers, they would make them cartoonish as opposed to real people. But anyway, one of the LARPers who's the cop, African-American cop, her name is Wendy Conrad, which actually in the Marvel comics, there's a person by that name who is Bombshell, who like juggles explosives and part of, I think, a group called Death Rows. So that might be just like a little Easter egg for people who know that name, as opposed to being somebody who's going to be a superhero of some sort. Also, when the spoiler, Yelena shows up out of the blue with her little glowy thing, Splinter Cell
Yeah.
night goggles. There's a part where she lands and she does the same pose she was making fun of
Oh, did she?
her
Oh,
sister.
Yeah,
So she
she's
lands with that
awesome.
hand down just like her. So she's evidently still carrying on the traditional pose. Also, a really interesting moment. The moment where Kate gets knocked off the building, and she's like, he's trying to hold on to her. That's a callback, of course, to him
yes.
and Natasha. They play the same music at that moment too. When he lets her go, they play the same music that happens when Natasha gets let go, and also the same wire that Yelena shoots on her is the same wire that Natasha shoots on Clint when they go off that cliff. So that's I love these interesting sort of like parallels to stuff that we've seen before, and also you have that moment where he has that same realization when he had with Natasha, and so but this time there's Christmas lights to help break the fall, which I'm not exactly sure how in normality how that would be. If you ever seen
very
Jackie Chan,
strong.
well, if you saw Jackie Chan in that one movie where he got hurt really bad, let's see. I think that's all the ones I kind of have, but
So
I'm sure you guys have some
Well,
extra ones.
I want to talk about the goggles. Doesn't she look like one of the costumes that Kate described that Hawkeye should wear?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Because remember when she was drawing the classic Hawkeye, and then I think she literally said that he should have, a black mask with goggles.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Although
All right.
one thing I will say.
Wow, I'm amazed you all. I know.
One thing I will say though is I don't know about you guys. I mean that scene where he's talking to his wife on the phone and all of a sudden she breaks out talking in German.
Yes.
I'm now starting to think that she might have been a previous
Black Widow.
Well,
no, I don't think she's a Black Widow.
No, I think she might have been an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Possibly a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Some people, I think I can't remember the name. There's a Mockingbird that some people think that she might be one version of Mockingbird.
Yeah.
That if they're going to keep the show canon, maybe there's another. They take on that mantle in the same way Captain America takes on the mantle. So
which is why I said Bobby, because her name Mockingbird was named Bobby.
Yeah,
and they were like, maybe her name was Bobby Laura. Yeah. And they were married, and they were married in the comics. So yeah. So it could definitely be that. I'm all for it. Slatman, you had something to add.
So it's nice that you kind of ended with a lot of talk with Yelena, because there's a nice callback, or I guess kind of callback that I noticed that I'm curious as to how you guys think it's going to play out, because remember it was the last episode or the episode before where Clint was saying the best shot he ever took was the shot he didn't take with Natasha,
right?
And Kate doesn't take the shot on Yelena, so it's funny, George Lucas says poetry, it rhymes like poetry. So
if they do the Young Avengers,
Yeah.
Was Yelena part of the Young Avengers?
No.
But they could do it in the MCU. Like, there's nothing stopping them.
Yeah. Well, she definitely gave her a look, and there's a phone call that her Kate's mother makes that I have a feeling is directly tied to all this.
You think it's Val?
Well,
some people think it might be Val.
What do you mean?
But also that she talked to Val.
Oh yeah, I think she talked to Val.
Connected to Yelena.
Yeah, because Eleanor Bishop, is she going to be Madame Mask, Chad? Do you think she's Madame Mask?
She's something for sure. I just don't buy it that you've got Vera Farmiga in your TV show and she's not playing some major role other than a mother. Like, there's something in store there. But it may be, that would be so cool if she was.
Well, they did in the comics. So
yeah,
it would be interesting if that turns into like the villain for Young Avengers. Maybe it's not something that pays off now, but it's something that's signed off and written and paid off for later.
Yeah, they're definitely laying the groundwork for Young Avengers so much.
And it's kind of throwing theories out, like it would lead to reason that Clint would be the adult contact for the Young Avengers, right?
Mhm.
If he goes and does the West Coast Avengers or something, you know, like he's going to be more in a mentor role than the actual Avenger role.
Like a
Yeah.
Nick Fury role almost.
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the
That would work.
Charlie.
Charlie.
He has a hearing aid instead of an eye patch.
Yeah.
Well, also, I don't know about you guys, but if the Kingpin does not show up by the end of this
Oh my
series,
gosh.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
pissed. I don't mind.
I will be too.
I don't mind Mephisto not showing up. That's okay. In WandaVision, but come
You
on.
gotta-
I mean, even in
well-
this episode, there's a part where Clint's like, "I know your boss, the big man."
I
How many
know.
times do we got to have
Yeah.
references to
Well,
the
that
big
was-
man?
tied into it.
It was
He's tied
him
into
at the
it.
big when they were saying, and when he touched her face.
And
I know
yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
I know it is, but
And that was his hotel, and I bet
Mhm.
you he's the one that bought Stark Tower, Avengers Tower. Like,
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Fist
Yeah, because
Tower.
in the comics, doesn't he turn it into Fisk Tower?
yes,
Or
No
in
way,
one
no
of the versions
Yeah.
of in one of the versions of
he
the
takes
very
yeah, he buys
different.
Stark
Yeah.
Tower.
Mm.
So
I have a
they can
question
do
for you
whatever they
guys.
want.
That something wasn't very clear to me. The Rolex that Kate picked up in the apartment, was that the same watch from the first episode that they were
Yeah.
chasing down?
Yes,
It
yes.
was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
it was.
What is the deal with the watch?
Well, I
I-
think it has something to do with Laura Barton.
Well, they
And she
think
wants
I've
it
heard
back.
that theory.
well, they,
I've heard
they
that
think
theory.
it has some kind of possibly some kind of electronic information on it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but
that
as
might
to
tie
who,
her.
but I mean, I guess the big hint is Clint saying that like it's somebody he used to work with back in the day, which is why
Yeah.
people keep thinking. But I don't know. It's like a more of a, I hate to be gender specific, but it seems like more of a man, I guess, a manly watch or whatever. So,
Mhm.
It does.
But-
Well, and wouldn't he have been more concerned about it if it were something to do with Laura? Because when
Yeah.
she first asked him,
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, whatever. I don't know. It got destroyed, didn't it?" Like he wasn't. He was very like cavalier about it. So I think if it were
True.
tied to her, he'd be a little more concerned.
Protective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
So
he's
I don't.
real worried
I
about the
have
Ronin
no
outfit. Right?
clue. I have no clue.
well, I will. And some people are like, oh, it could be information about the Skrulls. It's like, quit it with the
Please no.
Skrulls.
Not yet.
stuff.
They're
I
gonna
don't
have
really.
their time.
going
Yeah,
to.
that's the.
Just wait. Just you wait.
They're gonna
Well,
have
I
their
know,
time.
I know. I'm just like that is my least,
Is it Nick
interested
Fury
thing.
out there hanging out with him right now?
Yes, he is.
Isn't he out
Could
there
it be
with the
Nick
Skrulls?
Fury's watch?
See, I heard a theory about that,
That's
and
what
that
some people
seems
think
like it
too.
could be someone who's been out of the game for a while that he used to work
Mm.
with. It could
Because
technically.
well, I guess
Or
the
it's giving
interesting-
off some kind of signal, right? That
Well,
they
it-
said
It
it's
is,
giving
yeah.
it has a
off.
transmitter in it.
because
yeah.
it was an Avengers compound. You got to think like who would it be connected to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That they would keep it at that compound.
Mm.
So it's got to be something of importance
mystery
to
watch.
somebody.
Yeah, but they also kept the Ronin outfit there at the compound. So
Why? Who? Who?
I know.
Why they would
like-
do that? But
Well, I mean, because they probably know it's connect. Well, would they?
if
know
I
that
was
it's
him, I
connected
would
to
have
Clint?
burned it. If I would have burned it, or something.
I mean,
He
it
probably-
survived a fire. I don't think it can be burned.
he
No,
probably
maybe.
had like a locker or something, right?
Maybe.
There.
Unless they thought like, oh, he's dead. We're gonna keep his stuff here so nobody else uses it or something. You know?
Yeah, kind of like what is it isn't it? Don't they keep a bunch of crap in Superman's fortress in Justice League or whatever?
what do you think?
Oh, let's
think it's gonna be
not
like in the
bring
back
that
cave,
into
you know, with the
this.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what it reminded me of. Just like
Maybe.
oh, we got to take this hammer. We got to take this
It's like-
insert weapon here from this villain.
Mhm.
Or maybe it's
and
like
lock
the
it
Indiana
away.
Jones warehouse, where they have this
Nice,
warehouse of all
nice.
these
In
things they don't want to
boxes.
get into the public.
Well, even
Oh,
the
this one's
Batcave.
labeled.
Now they're on the auction block. That's not good.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
Avengers, man, they're
Well,
Loosey-goosey.
the Avengers compound was kind of destroyed,
it was, wasn't it?
which
Oh my God.
somebody
Yeah.
had said that actually when you see the destruction of it, there's like a helicopter pulling stuff out of it in the background in one scene. So,
Mm.
but yeah,
I'm
A lot of
interested
interesting
to see who
stuff.
it's gonna
I
tie
don't
it
know.
to.
There's
Yeah.
I love how they're putting this stuff in here, but they're they're sewing it so far in the background that it's only there.
I'm
for those who
scared to
wanna-
read into it because I'm still
Yeah,
mad that
mhm.
Mephisto didn't show up.
And who's to say that this will end after 2 episodes? It could go into season 2
It could
and
very
continue
well.
some of the things they're bringing up in this one.
Well,
Oh.
as long as he gets home,
Yeah.
I think
hope he
now
does.
if he actually died and didn't get home,
Oh no.
how many people would be
You
pissed
can't
about
kill. You
that?
can't kill Clint.
No,
Barton. You
it's
can't.
gotta
No.
end with him making it home, right?
And they
Yeah,
have to
oh, of
play the
course.
song "Home for the Holidays" when he comes home.
No, I know.
Because if they don't, they're yeah.
Maybe they'll come to him.
Well, that could happen. Yeah, it'd be in the
that could,
hospital.
yeah.
They
As
come
long
to
as
him.
he's with his family, though, I think. But they're not going to kill him. There's no way. I don't think he's done with this.
With
character.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus looking in the window at him.
Yeah.
While they're-
Or they show,
Just like
show up,
that.
they show up in the limo like in Die Hard.
Yeah.
We're here.
Oh my god, they get the punch Val.
Yeah, she needs a punch.
Punch.
Hey, let me just say she plays Val perfectly.
I like it. Yes,
From the
yes.
comics, yeah.
Did we like the scene with well, there's a whole bunch of scenes, like you said, with all the dialogue scenes, and there's 3 big ones. The scene at the dinner table, which is insanely awkward and wonderfully awkward at the same time. There's a lot of things that kind of fall out, and of course we get the conversation with Kazi and Hawkeye, Clint.
Mm.
And there's a lot there, and Clint's badass in that. Just get it done, he says. Just get it done. And then the conversation between Kate and Clint is by far the best, and really.
Oh, well, that just
really-
shows her. There's something. She's not this nice mom character that she makes herself out to
no.
be.
Oh my
When
gosh, I know.
when she sticks that knife into his heart by mentioning Natasha,
Mhm. Oh yeah,
you
and
can see
that
Menace
elevator.
in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm wondering. I'm thinking she gave Yelena information about his family.
You mean Echo? Or
Oh yeah,
It-
yeah,
'cause-
Echo. Yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, then that would lead to her having maybe spoken to Kingpin on the phone
Mhm.
and not Val, right?
It could be a Kingpin.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Sure.
people that are thinking like the next week is supposed to be that event that they were talking about in this episode, and that's where people are theorizing that Kingpin will make a brief appearance
Mhm.
or be
Mm.
mentioned a little bit more.
All we need.
Even if it's just a painting in the background using the same actor, like that's
No.
enough.
Oh, we got to see
Yeah.
him. I
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
see him.
That's
D'Onofrio.
technically seeing him.
Yeah, but if you're gonna put some effort and have his
Yeah,
voice,
Yes.
you
There's
got to
no-
show
they
a little bit
have
more.
to. They have to. They're doing such a good job by slowly reincorporating the Netflix Marvel
Yeah.
characters. We're going to have
Mhm.
Matt Murdock in it. So you know that Foggy's going to be in it. There's no way he's not going to be in it, right? So you're going to have these characters tie in. They'd be stupid not to bring John Barenthal back as the Punisher.
Oh, I hope they do, man.
And so if you've
Mhm.
already got D'Onofrio coming back in as the Kingpin, you got all these people in New York. You know more now that they're bringing all the superheroes. Everybody lives in New York, so we're gonna have a New York full of all these freaking superheroes running around.
New York.
I know. I'm so excited about that, and I love that we're starting to see like little tiny bits of that, like we saw Kingpin's hand, right? Who
Mhm.
everyone's assuming is Kingpin in a Hawkeye show. Like I love how they're just weaving all this in together. And we're getting 3 more Spider-Man movies. You cannot tell me he's not going to go up against Kingpin. Come on.
Ooh.
But I mean,
That would be
Daredevil's
awesome.
also supposed to be back into the MCU, so why can't?
Who?
Oh my gosh,
Daredevil.
Spider-Man and Daredevil
Yeah.
teaming up together against Kingpin in
Right?
a movie? That would be
Mhm.
so
What if
sick.
we see that coming up? Oh my
Yeah.
God, I would die. I would die.
Don't have expectations.
I know. It's gonna be so
Do
disappointing.
not, and I'll say, yeah, the new
I won't be
Spider-Man movie. Let's
disappointed.
all not have expectations
Oh
because
no, I'm not gonna.
nothing is going to live up to
to
what we have in our mind. And
anything. Yes,
Well,
it
we
is.
can
It's
say-
all gonna live up to it.
Right. But we can
nah,
say
well,
that.
Star
some
Wars
of the-
fandom would say no.
Right. But some of the news that we got was that Feige actually confirmed that Matt Murdock would be.
Mhm.
I mean, Who's the actor?
Barenthal.
No, it's
Charlie Cox.
Charlie
Charlie
Cox. Thank you.
Cox, yeah.
Charlie Cox will be Matt Murdock and Hawkeye.
In
not
some
Hawkeye.
way or
What
fashion.
am I doing?
He wouldn't say when.
Yeah, some way or fashion and when, but he did not say when. And I did not mean to say Hawkeye. I meant to say Daredevil. Yeah. So, which with all the thing that Vince D'Onofrio is saying online about wanting to have other actors come along as well, and kind of implies by lack of not including himself that he's in, right?
The Defenders are back.
So it is worth noting that the actress who plays Florence Pugh got hard blocked on all social media for posting about her appearance in this episode, but they have not done the same thing for Vincent. What's his last name?
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, D'Onofrio. So
oh no, Disney is gonna be coming down with some hard lawsuits on Instagram, I think.
But
they're not gonna like that.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like Florence Pugh posted about being in Hawkeye before the episode aired. The guy who played Kingpin is hinting at the same thing, and they punished one and not the other. So I'm not getting my hopes up anymore.
He did not imply anything. He
did a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah,
he did. There was
but he didn't specifically
that.
say anything, as opposed to Florence Pugh, who pewed a little.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in.
But I mean,
she pulled the Tom Holland. She pulled the Tom Holland.
Anyone who saw Black Widow knew that this was going to be in this series, though. So
why? Yeah, I don't understand why they would.
It's Instagram that took it down. It wasn't Disney. So
it was Instagram. I thought it was Disney.
Yes, it was Instagram, and I think that post, I think Disney had her PR, is trying to get her to make that post, and then Instagram blocked it. So they weren't allowing one of Disney's employees to do their job.
Well, but it also
gonna get mad about
there's also fans out there that get pissed if you say any specific piece of information, and then they all will spam it and say, "Hey, you need to take this down," blah blah blah. So it might be a fan revolt as well. You never know with these type of things.
Revolt.
Well, we know we're going to see more of her from the trailers that we've seen for the next episode. But let's take a moment and congratulate Paul Bettany and the actress that plays Scarlet Witch. Help me out, somebody. We're all brain farting and unison.
Olsen.
Yes, Elizabeth Olsen. Both got nominated for Golden Globes.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
But it wasn't Agatha all along.
But not Agatha all along. I know.
I don't know. Their performance, I think, was a little bit stronger than Agatha.
How dare you?
I think
you're off the podcast. How dare you?
Their performance deserves it.
Her performance,
that would be
as a
Catherine
villain,
Hahn will have her time.
Oh, she will.
She will have her time. Yeah. Have they given an award to a actress award to a superhero movie of these recent ones? Is that going to be a first if they win?
For the TV shows?
Well, this is.
I don't know.
This is the Golden Globes, okay?
I
don't know, Chris. Okay,
they're the Golden Globes. They're not exactly the pinnacle of.
There's controversy with the Golden Globes, yes, but it's still.
In the past, they've been known to vote for people because they hope they show up.
Yep.
As if the Oscars are any different, they're all the same.
Well, these people are not. Yeah, they hobnob with celebrities.
There's a large controversy about that.
There's a huge controversy with them.
We don't need to get into politics about it. But also, last thing before we get into our final thoughts, Spider-Man No Way Home comes out this week. And look for that
They
review.
had their premiere, so you better go off of social media because there's already outlets posting spoilers.
Yes.
You better turn off your hearing aids or close your eyeballs or do whatever.
Don't go blaming it on other people.
Yeah. Close one eye, don't look out the other. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our final thoughts.
Wait, Chad's going to join us for that one, right? You're going to join us?
Yeah, I'm going to try and see it this weekend, and I'll be here if you do it.
Damn well better. All right, final thoughts, score, favorite scene, and Slattman, you are up first.
This is an excellent words are hard.
That's what I was going to say.
Easy for you to say, yeah,
right. This was an excellent episode. They had such a hard task to follow up the action-packed. I dare I say, masterpiece of the last of episode 3.
Yeah, I would
And
second that.
they did it. They pulled it off. This has some of the best character moments in the series for me. It has lots of little nuggets of evil, little nuggets of character development, everything that you want. Like it plants seeds for the last 2 episodes. It really sets up our character's final push. It gives motivation for our characters. It just, and the bang at the end with Florence Pugh, just the complete tonal shift that Jeremy Renner has in that moment. And basically at that point he's like, Kate, you cannot be a part of this anymore. I cannot put you in harm's way because of this. Like it's just it's so well done, and sets up these last 2 episodes so well. And I'm very excited for it, and I'm just so sad we only get 2 more, because there's so much I want to happen, and I don't think it's all gonna happen.
Not enough time.
Yeah, unless they pull the rug underneath us and they have like an hour-long finale instead of 30 minutes.
Or to be continued into season 2.
Oh my gosh. The internet itself would shut down if they did that. But yeah, I loved it. I'm gonna give this one a 5. And
nice.
Yeah, it followed last week up very well, but they did it in a way that was meaningful instead of just trying to one up the action that they already did. My favorite scene is when they're writing on the poster and Hawkeye goes, "Are you sure that's dry erase?" And she tries to wipe it, and then later on they put the Christmas tree in front of it, and it's just like, see, you can barely tell. I love that, and that just shows the chemistry. Like that scene like was so great. It shows the chemistry between them so well, because they go from talking about this like crazy intricate web of like conspiracy and stuff to a great comedic moment, and just I died laughing.
It was nice. All right, very good. Vanessa, your final thoughts, your score, your favorites.
Yeah, I love this as a follow-up to the last one too. I think they just did a really great job showing 2 sides, of these characters, and really digging into Clint and his history and the way that he feels and the way that he's dealing kind of with PTSD and this anxiety that he has over his life and the things that he's done in his life. I find it fascinating what they're doing. The way that they're able to tell these really deep stories masked with superheroes, right? And I guess that's kind of the thing that comics has always done. There's always been a way to tell us, with great power comes great responsibility, and those types of lessons that we've learned along the way, masked behind these characters that people would look down on. And I just really love that they're getting the credit that they're due. And people are appreciating that. This episode was just so, it had so many good moments to it that were like tonally opposite to the last one, but still just as poignant and amazing. I really I don't want to take anybody's favorite scene away, but the scene where he's talking her through the apartment, I just love those moments that they have together. And it's just such a what did you say, Chris? Like a Lethal Weapon, that relationship that they have between them, and then shit gets serious. I really like that a lot. So I'm going to give this one a 5 as well.
Very nice.
We said so many things about this episode. I'm just so excited about it all over again here at the end, because it just leads to so many cool things. And I'm just developing this great love for Clint Barton. But my favorite scene it's kind of sad. You know, and it's after he's kind of shared that moment on the couch. They've had their whole Christmas party and everything, and he shared the moment on the couch about how, you know, the best shot I ever made was the one I didn't take. And he tells her to go to bed, that they need rest, and he takes his hearing aid out, and everything goes silent, and he's just sitting there in that chair, and he starts to have these memories of Black Widow and of moments in his life and all this stuff, and it's just such a poignant moment, such a small moment with such a big message behind it, and this the how intense that silence was the moment he took that hearing aid out, you know, and you can almost interpret it different ways. He took it out because he wanted the silence, or the silence can be representative of, you know, the aloneness that people can feel coming back from war, coming back from traumatic experiences. It's just it's so deep and so, you know, kind of beautiful to see told in this way, and I think it's going to be so relatable for so many people on a level where they may not be getting that kind of information. So yeah, I loved it, and in his little grumpy cat sweater too.
Yes, the grumpy cat sweater. Yeah, it was incredibly heartfelt moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Chad, sir, your final thoughts, your score 1 to 5, and your favorite scene.
Comics, good comics are not all about bang, pow, zip. Good comics have that, but they also have good characters that you care about, and that's why people follow comics. They're invested in the characters, and Marvel, the MCU, has done a great job of developing these characters into real people. I mean, they look, feel, smell, taste, and sound like real people. and that's what I love so much about. I love Jeremy Renner in this role. And like I said earlier, I've never liked the comic book Hawkeye that much, but I love Hawkeye in the MCU. And so, yeah, there's a lot of that development, and this episode really, though it wasn't wasted. There wasn't a minute wasted, even though there was a lot of talking. Everything meant something. Everything is leading to something still, and I love that. But my favorite scene kind of goes along with Vanessa's when they're sitting there and she's asking him about did you lose your family in the blip?
Yes.
And he's telling her how he felt about that, and he said, I can't remember the exact line she said, but he said, it takes its toll, or it's something to that effect. And he kind of got a hitch in his breath because he was so in, and I almost cried like an idiot at that for some, because that little thing he did there really, it drove home the emotion that he was feeling at the time. And I felt it right here. And, so I love that. That's my favorite scene in the show. But yeah, it's a 5.
It's a 5.
It's a 5. I loved it. Yeah.
Nice. Christopher G. Moore, your final thoughts, your score, and your favorite scene.
Yeah, I mean, another fun episode that's they're just doing a bang up job and just having characters you care about, and sort of like these fun conversations they have, and sometimes not so fun conversations, because they don't. I mean, it doesn't get too like dark and deep like some of the other series have done, but it still flirts with some of that kind of stuff. But again, this series is definitely, I think I'd mentioned it previously. This is kind of what I thought the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going to be like. It was just going to be this fun buddy cop comedy action series, and that had a little bit of that elements, but it had all these other stuff as well. But this is just a fun series, and it's like this one I'm not so much about like, I think like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, when are we gonna get to the action? And as much as I enjoy the action, I just love those moments, the simple moments where it's just talking, you know, where he, you know, even just as simple of him in the back of the car talking to the guy. You know?
And that was great. What are you talking about? Yeah,
you know, and he's like, if you're looking for that knife, it's already took it, or the one under the seat. You know, he's like, you know, just fun moments like that, or also just fun moments where it's again those Lethal Weapons moments where like, you know, him being the Danny Glover character is like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in there, and it's like, and she's already gone. You know, so that just seems like something like Murtaugh, you know, would do with Riggs or whatever. Like, he's the crazy person is always the one that goes out in the middle of it. Even the part where she's like talking crazy to the old guy in the elevator is like,
that was
I'll
great.
take my groceries back, please. So they're just like a really lot of fun moments, a lot of where, you know, just, I don't know. There's parts that make you smile, make you laugh. You know, there are moments there's tender moments. It's got a little bit of everything. And it also has, you know, a few action moments like the very end where they're fighting on top of a rooftop, or the part where she's sliding down the thing and she stops in the middle. Which reminded me when I was in Puerto Rico and I was on that wire flying, and I tell you, you could stop in the middle, and it's like, that's the very thing I'd be afraid of. So yeah, it's got a lot of great moments, fun moments. I can't give it a full 5. If they had a better characterization of the LARPers, I just hate people. I hate seeing geeky people in any kind of content where they treat them as characters and just they don't even feel like real people in this world, which is kind of weird because I could accept the tracksuit guys. I could accept them, even though they're more Tim Burton villains, but something about them just treating like geeky people who are into geeky stuff is just like, they don't even feel like real to me. And that kind of bothers me. So I can't give it a full 5, but
because they play them too serious, right? Like, would you still be acting like that if an Avenger walked up to you?
Well, yeah. Or just even the part where they're like, frozen wall. You know, it's like, I don't know. I've seen LARPers at Dragon Con in different places. And yeah, there's an element like, wow, they're really into their LARPing, which, you know, I was one of the people like, what the hell are these people doing? But they're still real people as opposed to just being nerdy concepts of what LARPers are. And I think that's the only thing that I have a problem with. I think that you know, they have all these advisors on how to do this or how to be a spy or choreograph fights. Get a nerd advisor, okay?
Nerd advisor.
But anyway,
that's your new company.
Contact me, pay me lots of money, and I'll be your nerd advisor. Even though I don't know a lot.
Don't say that. You know everything.
Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody on here who will call me out of that. But as for favorite scene, there's a lot of moments I think I could probably consider my favorite scene because there's just a lot of moments that I really enjoyed. I just forgot what I picked. I will say it is
tick tock.
Okay. You know what? I'll say it's the moment at the elevator.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
Wait, which elevator scene? Because there's 2 in this episode.
Wait a minute.
Oh, is it the old guy or is it with Kate's mom? Yes.
Yes. I'll say any elevator scenes. How about that? I'll encompass 2 different elevator scenes because it's just very funny. There's either like a creepy conversation where like this woman can have you killed as opposed to this woman's crazy. Give me back my bread and my groceries and get away from you, crazy young person. Like, oh, you know, I'm talking to an Avenger in my ear. Yeah, it's really hard to pick a good conversation, but I'll say a good part. But I'll say I'll say either whichever you think is better. That's the one I picked. The elevator scene.
It's the performance by the elevator was amazing.
Yes.
The way it opened and closed.
If it
was
doesn't
amazing.
get nominated for Golden Globe, I'll be pissed.
There's a little gasp in the door as it opened. It really touched my heart.
Oh. There were some ups and downs in the performance of the elevator.
It's
but
the
other
same
than that-
elevator that Captain
and
America
downs.
fought in. So.
Ah, nice. All right. Okay, we've officially gone longer than the episode itself, so
Are we going to start talking about Porkies again?
No, we're not going to talk about it.
Man.
I'm just going to say that I'm going to give this a 5. I loved it. I think it's a great balance to the last episode, and I really think the directors are extraordinarily gifted and talented in handling a variety of material, and give them a movie right now. Go find a movie for them to do. I really like the relationship between Clint and Kate. It's what you want. It's the characters from the comics almost there, and this is the Hawkeye I think I've been wanting all along. Hawkeye hasn't really hit the Hawkeye in the MCU that I like, but this more mature Hawkeye, if I can give him that title, is the mentor Hawkeye. This is the Hawkeye that said, okay, I'll help you out, Thunderbolts, or let's make the West Coast event. This is the Hawkeye that was more of a mentor or a leader, or more of the hero and less of the just the guy with trick arrows. So I'm digging it. I think this is I didn't know what to think of this particular series, and I'm really loving it. It's amazing. Definitely 5. My favorite scene. I'm just going to take I'll go ahead and take the battle scene at the end, and specifically. I mean the whole thing, because you got all the there's 2 different battles going on, and they switch, and and of course we get Yelena back, and Florence does a great job. Of course, I think she's only in like one of the where she takes the mask off. But anyway, specifically the look she gives Kate, and that exchange, when she goes right, something's going on there, and it's just really interesting to see that told in such a cinematic, visual way, and I love it. And then she shoots the arrow and disappears. We're definitely going to see more of her, and I can't wait. And I loved it. But the dialogue in this episode, like Christopher said, is amazing. And any of the dialogue scenes would absolutely quickly be a favorite. But there you go. That's our review for Hawkeye episode 4. Look for episode 5 next week. And somewhere in between, we're going to be doing Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, boy. It's going to be fun.
Hooray! So you got web blood or something?
It's going to be, yeah, watch out. Oh, my gosh. The next few days are going to be the hardest days not to get spoiled. Oh my gosh! All right.
Yeah, I can't believe the '70s Spider-Man TV show Spider-Man showed up.
Oh, shush your mouth. Chad, thank you for
Morales.
Oh, come on, guys, shush! Stop!
We have no idea what's in the movie.
Look, all I gotta say, if I don't see some of this going on, I can't get in my screen at other Spider-Man, then I'm going to be a little pissed.
You might be a little pissed. Chad, thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you for the next few episodes and for Spider-Man, right? So
Heck yeah.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
Yes. All right. Christopher, Vanessa, thank you for joining me as always.
Thanks for having us.
Fun.
Always a blast.
All right. Let's say goodnight.
Sometimes an arrow.
Oh gosh!
A boxing glove arrow.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
No,
it does not.
Arrow.
Apple doesn't fall from the tree. Thank you. Oh my gosh! Let's get out of here, guys. Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.